In this seminal episode of the Boondocks, Huey Freeman is thrust into the role of director for his elementary school's Christmas play. His culturally sensitive and idealistic teacher, Mr. Uberwitz, gives Huey full creative control, hoping to infuse the holiday pageant with an authentic African-American perspective. Skeptical at first, Huey demands it in writing and promptly rewrites the play into The Adventures of Black Jesus. He even sets up a professional-style office to organize rehearsals and hires Quincy Jones as the music producer for the show. When Huey's classmates slack off, he mercilessly fires them all, deciding to replace them with adult black movie stars like Denzel Washington and Angela Bassett. Huey's rigidity infuriates the PTA, who protest their children's exclusion from the play. Meanwhile, Huey's impetuous younger brother Riley reconnects with his old grudge against Santa Claus. In a darkly comic B story, Riley violently attacks mall Santas and writes them menacing letters for a set of custom rims Riley never received. We see Riley stalk a mall Santa with a chair and then later ambush a Santa impersonator with airsoft pistols, threatening to make him pay what he owes. This absurdist violence satirizes angry youth and material obsession.
He knows when you've been sleeping.
All right.
He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for what?
Goodness sake.
I said be good for goodness sake. Think about that. Be good for goodness sake.
Yes.
Whose sake?
Speak, sister, speak.
It's time to take the ho out the music videos and put them in your mouth. Somebody say ho ho ho. Nowadays, people think ho 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 means the Hilton sisters standing next to Nicole Richie. Now that ain't no ho ho ho. Somebody give me the real ho 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 out there. Ho ho ho. Hooray, Santa. FedEx, UPS, they can ship the package, but wait a minute. I know a man with a different kind of guaranteed overnight delivery. He's got his own overnight express. Forget Airborne Express. I'll take the Reindeer Express. Cause it's free shipping on Christmas Eve. Somebody say ho. Praise Santa. Praise Santa.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the North Pole, may we present Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas, kids! Hi, everybody! Hi! Ho, 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 ho! What a jolly day! Ho, 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 ho! Hey, Merry Christmas!
What the f***? You're all just gonna stand there and watch me get my ass kicked? Nobody had my back? Huh? Nobody's got Santa's back. Ain't this a this with all?
Even Santa gets angry sometimes.
Tensions climax when the school principal demands that Jesus not be portrayed as black in Huey's play, transferring responsibility back to Mr. Uberwitz. Defying the administration, Uberwitz goes ahead with the play exactly as Huey wrote it. In the end, the production, The Adventures of Black Jesus with Huey's vision intact, receives critical praise from those few who see it, while many parents boycott since their kids were fired. Huey learns that even a powerful political statement can fail if the audience walks away. In the episode's quieter moments, young Jasmine Dubois, confused about the conflicting Christmas messages, Jesus versus Santa, white versus black, ends up innocently embracing Uncle Ruckus's lie that Santa couldn't make it, thus preserving her faith in a black Santa. Throughout the narrative, direct quotes remind us of Huey's revolutionary spirit and Riley's streetwise bravado. Huey's disdain for the status quo echoes in every line, while Riley's crude letter to Santa underscores the episode's comic edge. As Huey himself reproaches Uberwitz in frustration, he blurts out that his teacher is another irresponsible white person, a raw moment exposing the racial tension at play. This episode is steeped in the history of how Black Americans relate to Christmas. Huey's insistence on portraying Jesus as Black runs directly into a centuries-old narrative, the whitewashed Christian mythos. Historically, Western Christianity has depicted Jesus with white features, despite his Middle Eastern origin. The episode critiques this myth by making it explicit. Huey asks us to imagine the true ethnicity of Christ. In doing so, the show follows a long line of Black intellectuals questioning who gets to claim the mantle of religion and history. As James Baldwin famously wrote, the American Christian tradition often excludes Black experience. Until we confront these exclusions, nothing can be changed. In this episode, Huey literally faces the truth of history on stage, forcing the adults around him to change or collapse. Meanwhile, the episode nods to Black cultural movements born from the erasure of heritage, reminding us that some traditions were created specifically to celebrate African American identity during a season dominated by Eurocentric rituals.
Habari Gani, y'all. Happy Kwanzaa. More than likely, you've heard of Kwanzaa before. But do you really know what it means? It's not the Black version of Christmas. Let's not be reductive, y'all. What it actually is an annual holiday that celebrates family, community, and African heritage and Black American culture. It's celebrated over the course of 7 days from December 26th to January 1st. Black families have been celebrating Kwanzaa since 1966 when it was founded by Dr. Maulana Karenga. Dr. Karenga created the holiday shortly after the Watts Rebellion in 1965. The US had continuously failed Black Americans. What's new? So he wanted a celebration that would not only uplift and unite us, but also reaffirm our cultural connections. And he based the year-end holiday off of first fruit celebrations in cultures throughout Africa in ancient and modern times. Each day of Kwanzaa represents the 7 principles of Pan-African culture. Each day, an elder greets everyone with Habari Gani, which means, what's the news in Swahili? And the family responds with the principle of the day. Here are the principles. Umoja, which means unity. Kujichagulia, which means self-determination. Ujima, which means collective work and responsibility. Ujama, which means cooperative economics. Nia, which means purpose. Kumba, which means creativity. And last but not least, Imani, which means faith. The family lights a new candle in the Kinara each day, starting with the black candle, which represents all of the people of African descent. Throughout the following days, family alternates between lighting the red candles on the left and the green candles on the right. The red represents the blood of our ancestors, while the green represents the land, life, and our future. These colors are also the same colors on the Pan-African flag. The Kinara represents our roots, and it is placed on a mat which is symbolic of our foundation and the traditions that we build on. The elder member of the family fills the unity cup, which emphasizes that all is possible when we come together in unity. They drink out of it and pass the cup around for other family members to drink. And after they drink from the cup, celebrants chant Harambee 7 times, which is Swahili for let's pull together. The holiday also uses other symbols like crops to represent the rewards of a productive and collective work, and ears of corn to represent the growth of our children. And they discuss the importance of each day's principles. Participants also use music, storytelling, and dance to celebrate. And celebrants reflect and recommit to the 7 principles over a feast called Karamu. Some have this feast on the final day, and others have it on December 31st. Some also may have more than one Karamu during the course of Kwanzaa. And yes, I know what you're thinking, gifts are associated with Kwanzaa. The holiday wasn't as popular at first, but it gained popularity in the 1980s and 90s. It also has had some shine in pop culture. I know you've heard Teddy Pendergrass's 1998 song, Happy Kwanzaa. If not, get into it. Popularly in an episode of Proud Family in 2001, which was one of my favorite episodes.
Wow, What a lovely table.
It's a Kwanzaa table.
Right, of course. I've always wanted to celebrate Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa, unfortunately, isn't as celebrated, or we don't see it as celebrated as we did in the 80s and 90s. I think a big reason is we unfortunately don't have much education in schools and just in mainstream around the importance of Kwanzaa. It's so important that we recognize Kwanzaa and understand the importance of not only how it was celebrated, but also how we can continue to celebrate and how the holiday will continue to evolve as future generations carry on. And how do we pass it on to future generations? And how do we make sure that the meaning behind Kwanzaa isn't lost? It's about family, it's about community, it's about uniting, it's about reaffirming our roots and connecting the past to the future, which is so important in any kind of progress, especially the progress of a marginalized or oppressed people.
Huey's revolt against the mainstream Christmas pageant is part of that bigger journey of cultural reclamation. An academic analysis observes that the episode explicitly discusses the struggle with traditional cultural and religious practices associated with the Christian holiday, and highlights that Christmas typically omitted people of color. In other words, Christmas in America has long been a marker of white cultural power. Huey's blackified play is a corrective reclaiming of space. The episode also reflects on who tells history. Huey's war over the script echoes educator Sonia Nieto's critique that black students often feel their histories, experiences, cultures, and languages are devalued, misinterpreted, or omitted within formal educational settings. In Huey's school, the dominant official version of Christmas is centered on white norms, even though the teacher is well-meaning. Huey embodies the counter-narrator, using the play to insert black viewpoint back into a curriculum that would otherwise ignore it. His struggle mirrors civil rights-era questions about which perspective gets to shape the children's imaginations. But it's not just racial. There is also a clear critique of white liberalism. Uberwitz is a generous, culturally sensitive Jew who enthusiastically embraces Kwanzaa and gives Huey control, yet he still cannot envision a black Jesus. The writers use him to show that even kind-hearted white allies can unwittingly reinforce the old order. Huey's exasperation calling him another irresponsible white person is a barbed satire of paternalism. Huey sees Uberwitz as part of the same system that refuses to fully empower black voices. In that moment, Huey's anger is almost a callback to Frantz Fanon's words, "The Negro is a toy in the white man's hands, so in order to shatter the hellish cycle, he explodes." Huey, the toy of Woodcrest's system, is now exploding its narrative from within. Overall, A Huey Freeman Christmas is steeped in the cultural legacy of black resistance to holiday narratives. It even makes a subtle historical joke. Earlier in the season, Huey's classroom lessons introduced Kwanzaa, the post-civil rights tradition started in 1966, to reclaim a festive space. This context tells us the episode isn't just about Christmas on its own, but about how black identity intersects with Christianization and commercialization of an originally religious festival. Huey's play is a direct challenge to that intersection. Race is at the core. Huey's crusade directly confronts the whitewashing of black history. Scholar Corvansky Lafontaine notes that Huey is redirecting his school's Christmas play to counter the whitewashed Christmas narrative. In doing so, Huey is asserting positive distinctiveness for black culture, using art to educate. Huey's insistence on a black Jesus speaks to a wider theme. Even religious imagery is contested terrain. Huey faces a choice echoing Baldwin's dictum. If he won't speak truth face about his culture, how can anything change? Riley's subplot acknowledging that Santa, and by extension, the gifts of capitalism has failed him, as a black kid also underscores racial inequity. His rant to Santa is as much about unfulfilled promises as it is about brandished anger, reflecting the rage that arises when a system repeatedly disappoints.
And the sixth day of Kwanzaa is Wow, this is really complicated. The sixth day is Kumbah.
Harold Kennedy Uberwitz was my history teacher. He was culturally sensitive.
And on Kumbah, the elder, okay, that would be me, leads everyone in the Harambe salute. And that goes like, Harambe! Okay, great. So who wants to join me in the Harambe salute? Anyone? Huey? You sure? It's Kwanzaa. Okay, no problem. Here we go. Harambe! 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 Harambe!
You want me to direct the Christmas play?
Absolutely. I think you'll do a fantastic job.
First of all, I don't give a damn about Christmas.
You don't have to do a traditional Christmas play. No, you can do whatever you want.
You'll be fired.
Fired? For what?
For being an irresponsible white person.
I would really love to see your vision.
Vision? What do you know about my vision? My vision would turn your world upside down, tear us under your illusions, and send the sanctuary of your own ignorance crashing down around you. Now ask yourself, are you really ready to see that vision?
We'll give you complete creative control.
I want it in writing.
And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God, and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. And that's what Christmas is all about.
You hear that, boy? That's what Christmas is all about.
Actually, Granddad, Christmas is a pagan holiday, and Jesus probably hates you for celebrating it.
There ain't gonna be no Scrooges in this house, boy.
Look, Granddad, it's clear from the scripture that Jesus was not born in winter. The shepherds who saw the angels announcing his birth would not have been out in their fields in December. The Palestinian winters are too cold, if you believe in that sort of thing. The truth is, Christmas evolved from the Roman holiday Saturnalia, a winter festival where men gave gifts to each other. They also would get drunk, have sex with each other, and with their wives. People would act so crazy on Christmas, the holiday was outlawed by the Protestant Church until the 1800s. As a matter of fact, the United States Congress... Granddad? Granddad!
I'm sorry, boy. What was that?
I just explained the entire history of Christmas.
But it was boring, Huey. You just blah, 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 blah Congress. You know, you gotta be interesting. You're gonna talk me to death. Talk.
And that's when it hit me. The world needed to see my vision, but I needed to dress it up first. It needed scale and drama and special effects. What are you doing? I'm writing a letter to Santa. Dear Santa, you are a... Wait, hold on. Dear Santa, you are a... I heard the mall is hiring extra security to protect you. That's a move, Santa. I'm coming for that again until you pay what you owe. Sincerely yours, the Santa Stalker.
The episode plays on religious symbolism. Jesus, Santa, gospel music all are reimagined. Huey's Black Jesus is a powerful symbol of reclaiming religious narratives. This resonates with Bell Hooks' critique of the Black church. She often discusses how Christianity in America has been shaped by white culture, and how reclaiming it can be an act of resistance. Huey's play literally reclaims Christmas for Black people. Jasmine's subplot, a child's faith conflating Santa with salvation, is also spiritually telling. In her innocent dream, Santa and Jesus blend into one benevolent figure. Later, Uncle Ruckus even plays Santa. These scenes poke fun at consumerized religion, suggesting that children often merge holidays and faith. The episode asks, what is the true spirit of Christmas? Huey seems to say it should be about justice and truth, not slick marketing or sanitizing history. His moral conflict about worship and identity mirrors a broader theme from Cornel West. How does one maintain hope and moral clarity in a world of racial despair? Huey's stoic determination against impossible odds channels that struggle. From the opening scenes to Riley's finale, the episode skewers Christmas materialism. Santa's failure to deliver Riley's dream gift, a set of rims, sparks Riley's vendetta, turning Santa into a corporate deity who has defaulted on a contract. This is a direct comedy on how consumer promises become quasi-religious faith for children. Huey's ending monologue, which references characters discussing how Christmas evolved, and the Washington Post review highlight this satire. Kurt Fields notes it's a laugh-out-loud take on the holiday and consumerism. Huey himself is wary of false narratives. He won't let capitalism hide behind tradition. His dismantling of the pageant, an act supported by the PTA boycott, is a stand against the idea that Christmas must look a certain way for commerce's sake. In short, the episode layers race onto a classic critique of capitalism. The mystique of Santa, the giver, is exposed as a myth, just as Huey's broader message exposes mythologies of race. Huey is, above all, a revolutionary figure. Named after Black Panther Huey Newton, he embodies Black nationalist thought. When he wields power, he pushes all the envelopes, firing his classmates, recasting kids as famous Black actors, openly defying the principle. This anti-authoritarian stance exemplifies Fanon's warning that the oppressed will eventually rebel. Huey's creative rebellion is empowering even to the audience. He brings consciousness to an ignorant system. Yet the episode also shows the cost. Being too uncompromising alienates allies, a lesson Huey learns. This echoes James Baldwin's idea that serious change may anger many, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. Huey faces the biggest truths head on, so this struggle is inherently anti-establishment, a call to question accepted norms, even in an elementary school setting. The satire is clear. Even a seemingly innocuous Christmas play is battleground for bigger political ideologies. Though not science fiction, the episode shares spirit with Afrofuturism by reimagining history through Black eyes. In speculative fiction, Afrofuturism asks if a people whose past has been deliberately rubbed out can imagine a future. Here, Huey metaphorically reclaims the past in the narrative of Jesus for Black people, sculpting a version of history as it should have been. It's as if he's writing an alternate chronology, casting Black actors as the heroes of the nativity pageant. Mark Derry's observation that Afrofuturism addresses African American concerns in the context of a futuristic society rings true. Huey's play is a futurist fantasy of the past, blending artistry and ideology to propose a world where Black history isn't erased. In this sense, Huey's vision carries an imaginative promise akin to stepping into a liberatory future of his own making, even if staged inside a school auditorium. The entire episode happens in a school, so education is an obvious theme. Huey treats his students less as kids and more as cadres of revolution. His casting of celebrities over children suggests a provocative pedagogical stance. Research shows that marginalized students often feel excluded by a curriculum that ignores their heritage. Huey literally fights to change the curriculum. He tries to turn the school play into a true educational experience about racial history. In doing so, he embodies Paulo Freire's ideal that education can't be neutral or banking style when liberation is at stake. When the school system shuts down his true narrative, he relinquishes control on principle, a powerful indictment of standardized schooling that silences dissent. The episode suggests that true learning and liberation can only occur when students see their own stories represented and are allowed to question the official story.
I think you should do a play about what Christmas is really about. Christmas is about how Santa died for our gifts and rose from the dead and moved to the North Pole. And because of that, every year Santa comes down to forgive us our sins and give us eternal presents.
Man, Santa D's. Where was Santa when we was in the hood, huh? Santa ain't showing no love back then. I didn't ask for much, just rims, not even the whole core. And what do we get? Nothing. That gonna pay what he owe.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Uberwitz. Are you here to see Mr. Freeman?
Yeah.
1 second. Mr. Uberwitz is here. Okay. He's just finishing up another meeting. You can have a seat in the hallway. Can I get you anything? Some water?
No, I'm fine. Thank you. Huey?
Oh, hey, Mr. Uberwitz. This is Quincy Jones. I've asked him to come in and co-produce.
How are you, man?
I'm good. How do you know Huey?
Oh, me and Huey go way back. And by the way, I hope you're not going to be getting strange with the change on the music budget.
Music budget?
What the? battleground is less than 2 weeks away and y'all want to party?
We're just having some fun.
Fun? Do I look like Charlie Brown?
No.
Do I look like Charlie Brown? You know what? All y'all are fired!
What? Fired?
Did I stutter? Beat it.
Huey, but it's the entire cast. Are you sure that's a good idea?
Contract.
I'm sorry, guys.
Can't believe it.
Hey, don't be looking at me.
Don't look at Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones ain't gonna help you. Get your asses out. Now!
Oh, my mom.
Is there any money in the budget for a casting director?
Believe it. Can we buy her the best?
That's right, Bob. A little bit of the Christmas spirit is returning to Woodcrest as Santa Claus makes his first appearance since being assaulted by the unknown but probably Arab Santa stalker 1 week ago.
And you're gonna protect me, right?
Now don't you worry about a thing, Mr. Santa Claus, sir. I got you covered. Now I know I'm a very large man, but I'm a picture of athleticism.
Well, hello there. And what would you like Santa to bring you for Christmas?
I want, Santa, you got a red dot on your head.
Oh! God! That had to pierce a spleen or something. God!
Merry Christmas, nigga! You gonna pay what you owe, Santa! You gonna pay what you owe! Running like a...
Back up! I need backup. I'm fat. I can't run very fast. I think I'm having a heart attack and a couple of light strokes.
Merry Christmas.
Artistically, the Boondocks blends Western cartooning with Japanese anime influences to powerful effect. Huey and Riley's design, large expressive eyes, exaggerated reactions, are anime signifiers on the surface. Action sequences such as Riley's mall santicide or Huey's frenzied rehearsals are animated with kinetic flair reminiscent of anime fight scenes. Indeed, creator Aaron Magruder himself said he wanted this show to look like anime, our attempt at anime, but it's very, very black. In A Huey Freeman Christmas, this style underlines the drama. Watching a suburban Christmas play become an epic courtroom is all the more surreal when drawn like an anime. Color and framing also carry meaning. Scenes in Jasmine's dream use ethereal lighting and choir voices to feel reverent, then abruptly cut to the harsh fluorescent mall lights of Riley's Santa hunt. Huey's behind-the-scenes office is drawn with cold blue tones, emphasizing his militaristic, almost corporate approach. By contrast, the play's final night uses warm spotlighting on black actors, highlighting pride and tradition. The visual style never forgets to dramatize even mundane suburbia. It subtly satirizes the ordinary through a stylized lens. High-contrast animation frames intensify the satire. For example, Santa's large mall, empty and silent after Riley's attack, is almost posterized black and white, echoing Riley's anger and stark imagery. The action-heavy scenes, the chair fight, airsoft shootout, feel ripped from anime before it was a sitcom. This fusion of styles amplifies the message. The episode looks hyper-real and larger than life, insisting that the issues it raises are anything but small or local. Sound is also used for satire. The episode opens with kiddie choir carolers, only to smash into Huey reciting heavy Revolutionary-era poetry about freedom. This audio juxtaposition mocks the easy sentimentality of holiday music. In short, A Huey Freeman Christmas uses sound to reinforce the clash of worlds, the solemn and the silly, the sacred and the capitalist. Huey is the intellectual radical, channeling figures like Black Panther Huey Newton in name and spirit. He is stoic, fiercely proud of his heritage, and utterly intolerant of injustice. Huey's lines often carry a prophetic weight. He's the voice of reason in chaos. Yet here we see his weakness, his we can be heroes idealism blinds him to empathy. When the final curtain rises, Huey self-reflects on how the people who attended the play were deeply moved, but he's also crushed that the message didn't reach the many. Huey's arc shows that even revolutionaries must reckon with compromise or lose their audience. He stands out in Woodcrest as both leader and outsider, aware of his role. Academically, Huey embodies a critical consciousness and is often seen as an alter ego for Magruder's own frustrations with media and society.
Okay, now, for the role of the third wise man, we have Mr. Fogelberry or Denzel Washington.
I say Denzel.
Yeah, me too. Okay, and for the role of Mary, we have third grade science teacher Mrs. Peterson or Angela Bassett.
Well, Mrs. Peterson gave a serious read.
Yeah, she sure did.
But I say Angela Bassett.
Yeah, me too.
Guys, how do we afford Denzel Washington and Angela Bassett?
I don't know. Have we gotten word yet on Will Smith's availability?
Whoa. We can't afford Will Smith.
Damn the budget. What we're doing is more important than money. We will change Christmas and elementary school theater forever.
But we don't have the money.
Contract.
Lunch meeting at 11:30 about the sound effects for the dogfight sequence.
Cancel it.
The PTA is threatening a boycott of the play since you fired all the kids.
Don't care.
And the principal's in your office to talk about the script.
Who?
First of all, I just wanted you to know we're thrilled with the script.
Absolutely fantastic.
Brilliant. Wouldn't change a thing.
We just had a couple of no's.
One or two.
Nothing significant.
Let's see, there's a typo on page 5, there's a continuity problem on page 32. I think that scene's supposed to be at night, and let's see, Jesus can't be black.
What do you mean he can't be black?
He can't be black. Maybe we could make Jesus another color.
How about white?
But Jesus was black.
We could probably do Italian.
Jesus was Middle Eastern.
In addition to Arabs, the Middle East has always had many people of African descent whom you would consider black.
Sorry, can't do it. Oh, right, that. Best of luck.
Break a leg. I can't wait for opening night.
Riley is Huey's foil, the hedonistic kid steeped in popular black street culture. In this episode, Riley's obsession with material goods, the rims he believes Santa owes him, drives his brutal, immature revenge. His language shocks adult viewers but is true to his survivalist mentality. Riley doesn't learn a moral. By episode's end, a commentary on how the show treats him. His subplot is pure cartoonish satire, a ventriloquy of media-promoted anger. Yet there is tragedy too. Riley's violence is pointed at a symbol of oppression, the white middle-class Santa. He represents the idea that anger without direction just leads back to the same system. Notably, Riley has no arc of redemption. He remains the one-dimensional villain archetype, as some critics note. This is by design. His character challenges comfortable notions that even bad black kids can be easily understood or reformed. Jasmine is the episode's innocent. She dreams of Christmas as a mystic merging of faiths. Her confusion between Jesus and Santa symbolizes the blend of culture and religion children naturally do. Haunted briefly by Ruckus's claim that Santa is dangerous, a cruel lie, she clings to her faith in a heroic Santa. Jasmine's arc is minimal, but her role is critical. She is the heart. In the final scene, she innocently applauds Huey's play, showing the audience and Huey that some children can be moved by truth. Jasmine reminds us of hope, youth's purity, and how narrative, even protective lies, can comfort or confuse. Though the show doesn't dwell on her, her presence softens the episode's edges. Mr. Uberwitz, the liberal teacher, occupies the benevolent white figure role. He sincerely wants change. He taught Kwanzaa and wants a black perspective play, but instantly flounders when faced with Huey's uncompromising vision. The principal and PTA, though minor, are clear stand-ins for institutional racism and parent privilege. Even Quincy Jones' cameo underscores the importance of allyship in culture. He believes in Huey's vision and supports it. His cheerful entrance brings levity, but also the idea that respected black elders endorse the youth revolution. Each character around Huey highlights aspects of his struggle, and all together they flesh out the social environment he's challenging.
Riley?
Jasmine!
Riley, you came to see Santa!
Ladies and gentlemen, from the North Pole, the real Santa Claus!
Hey there, pretty little white chillin'. Now look at all them precious little vanilla-colored faces.
I heard this was the only guy that could find to do it.
Now I know y'all think old Santa Claus look a little bit darker than he used to, ho-ho! But see, that's just 'cause Santa Claus got a little bit of revitiligo. See, that's the opposite of what Michael Jackson got. Don't worry, ain't no Jesus juice up here. Come on, let's get this show on the road.
That's not Santa!
Okay, who's please?
That's not Santa! It's an imposter! Beware the false Santa!
Kids, calm down. Accompanying parents, calm down as well. I am the real Santa Claus. Ho, 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 look at my belly shake. The heartbreaker revitiligo with a very serious life-threatening condition.
Hey, I've been in show business a long time, Huey. This kind of thing comes with the territory. I know you'll do the right thing.
Huey, it could still be a great play. We could cut a few scenes, make some changes to the script. Huey, we have to put something on.
Do what you have to do. Just take my name off of it. Won't be my vision.
Hello? Yeah, it's resolved. We'll be ready to put the play on tomorrow.
Why doesn't the real Santa come?
'Cause there ain't no real Santa. We all want to believe in miracles on Christmas. All of us.
In interviews, Magruder has said that he wanted to flip cultural narratives to center black experience. This episode's central joke, Black Jesus on stage, is exactly that flip. He often put Huey in moral dilemmas to expose complexity. Here Huey faces a true dilemma: speak truth and be silenced, or betray principle for acceptance. Magruder's writing doesn't resolve it for Huey. He simply walks away. This open-endedness invites debate, a hallmark of Magruder's style. Finally, by embedding figures like Quincy Jones into the plot and having Uberwitz, a cultured white teacher, fear retribution for making Huey director, Magruder underscores the absurdity of racial politics. His dialogue is laced with double meanings. For example, At one point, Huey lectures the history of American oppression, which flashes back to Riley's ignorance of Kwanzaa. It's a show written to operate on multiple levels. Kids see a wild cartoon, while older viewers catch the subtext about systemic injustice. Magruder's voice as a writer is apparent throughout, calm, incisive, and daring audiences to laugh and reflect. At its core, A Huey Freeman Christmas is a satire of liberal society's blind spots. It skewers the notion that simply being nice, a good Santa, is enough to solve deep problems. Riley's cursing letter to Santa lampoons the entitlement fostered by consumer culture. He treats Santa like a corporation that owes him. The PTA and administration represent how well-meaning people can still uphold oppressive norms under the guise of tradition. Jesus has always been white, they assume. Huey's face-off with them is a blistering joke. The very idea of an all-black cast of Jesus and disciples is treated like heresy. This mocks how the establishment treats any challenge to its narrative. The show also pokes fun at Nazi Santa tropes. Riley's use of snowball guns and references to pay what he owes evoke an almost anti-hero vengeance fantasy. Uncle Ruckus's cameo as a black Santa in the end is grotesque satire. The most racist character becomes the face of the holiday for Jasmine. It highlights the distortion of black identity under racism. Even Santa is co-opted by a black man who hates blacks. Kurt Fields of the Washington Post captured this tone, calling the episode an excellent and laugh-out-loud take on the holiday, consumerism, and earnestly liberal white folks. The narrative holds up a mirror. It asks, how ridiculous does society look when the safe, scripted Christmas story is replaced by an unapologetic black narrative? The answer, through satire, is pretty ridiculous indeed, but maybe more honest. Upon release, the episode was widely praised as bold and hilarious. Within fan communities, A Huey Freeman Christmas is often cited as one of the best holiday specials ever made. Mainstream press agreed. Kurt Fields, WP, called it excellent, and even likened it to a twisted homage to a Charlie Brown Christmas. He noted how it cleverly skewered both the benign holiday image and good-intentioned liberals. By contrast, some general viewers initially resisted the confrontational tone, unsure how to take a 10-year-old swearing at Santa. But over time, even critics have acknowledged that Magruder's mixture of politics and humor resonates. In years since airing, the episode's reputation has only grown. In the post-2020 era of heightened awareness about representation, many fans have revisited Huey's audacious vision, though the Boondocks face network removals, notably being pulled from Adult Swim streaming platforms around 2020. A Huey Freeman Christmas lives on via fan forums and clips, often cited each holiday season. New commentators, academic and fan alike, point to it as an example of black cartoon artistry tackling systemic issues.
No Santa Claus. Well, I'd expect a heathen like Riley to say something like that. But Jasmine, I'm surprised at you. Being a mulatto and all, you supposed to have more sense.
Huh?
I'm Special Agent Ruckus. Shh. Volunteer Santa security. Santa has reason to believe that your little jungle friend Riley may be the Santa stalker.
That makes perfect sense.
The Santa couldn't come this year. Just wasn't safe. Maybe next year.
So, he's real?
Real as Irish blood charging through my veins.
But Christmas miracles only happen in the lies adults tell to children. And maybe in Christmas specials. Mr. Uberwitz put on the play as scheduled. Not a single word was changed. And so, by some miracle, the world saw my vision that night. The Adventures of Black Jesus received a 20-minute standing ovation. It was called A Stunning Revolution in Theater by the Woodcrest Post-Gazette. Unfortunately, the PTA protest had gained some ground. Seems the people didn't care about my vision. They cared about seeing their kids on stage. Who knew?
Yay, Huey!
Mr. Uberwitz was fired for disobeying orders and for generally being an irresponsible white person.
Harambe!
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 He would later become a professor of African American Studies at the University of Maryland. No video exists of the one-time only performance of The Adventures of Black Jesus. Just as well, I hate looking at my old work. I heard you work for Santa. I got a message for him. Tell him Riley said I'll be waiting for his next Christmas. And that better pay what he owes.
For many African American viewers, the episode was and remains a rare holiday show that speaks directly to their experience. As James Baldwin warned, America's failure to include black voices in its dreams eventually leads to ruin. A Huey Freeman Christmas, in its small way, forces us to reckon with that truth. It stands as a culturally significant piece of satire, educational, emotional, and, as designed, deeply emotionally powerful. In sum, this Boondocks special is more than animation. It's a mini documentary in itself. It teaches history and media literacy through laughter and outrage. By the final scene, Riley's parting shot to Uncle Ruckus viewers have learned something profound. The stories we tell children matter. Huey has tried to rewrite one story. We walk away unsettled, questioning who really gets to be the hero of Christmas. That lasting emotional and intellectual impact is the hallmark of both great documentaries and great satire, and it's precisely what Magruder delivers in A Huey Freeman Christmas.